California, where we find John Ford, who spoke to Twitter and Square CEO Jack Dorsey yesterday at Code. John, out to you.
Yeah, Kayla, there's lots of talk, and rightly so, about Twitter's user growth and what that's going to mean for revenue down the line. But I wanted to get Jack Dorsey away from the crowd and figure out how he's building his team and how he's thinking about product changes and fixes, because that's where it's all going to come from if it happens. Take a listen to what he said.
Well, I think Twitter is a reflection of the world, in the same way that I worry about where my mom is and who she might run into in the real world. I have to do that in the digital sphere as well. And I think, as in the physical world, you give people better protections, better controls around how they live their life. And I think in the past, we have had some rudimentary controls for people. And I think we're getting better and better, and we're applying a lot more engineering to the problem as well, so that we can build a very simple mechanism for people to, block, to report, to mute, not just accounts, but potentially even hashtags or keywords, so that they continue to feel free to express themselves.
You're also on the board of Disney, and one of the things about that company that I find fascinating is that through acquisition, through culture shift, they've taken some things that weren't working so well and made them work. I mean, the Pixar acquisition brought in John Lasseter, who helped the whole animation division. Marvel, as a company, was just dying, frankly, as far as comic books goes. But movies have brought the mythology to a whole new level. What have you learned or taken away from seeing how Disney does what it does with story, with product, to revitalize things?
Yeah, I think this is a testament to Bob Iger's leadership. He's been phenomenal in terms of driving the company to where it is today. And I learned something every conversation I have with him. I think one of the things that was really enlightening to me was just how much he focused when he came back into the company. The company was not doing well. Stock was at an all-time low, and morale was, pretty low. And he took on a lot of challenges at once. And he focused on what is Disney? We're storytellers. Our craft is story, and we're going to strengthen that. And we're going to do so through creativity. We're going to do so through technology, and we're going to do so through optimism. And that last word was really important. Just having an optimistic approach to the work, and not only saying it, but demanding it in all the people around him.
How do you
on his team. Like, if you're not going to be optimistic, you're not in the company. We want people to be happy at work, and we want people to feel fulfilled at their jobs and their work. And if we have negativity around what we're doing, it's going to be a drag on every single thing that we do. So that is something that was just very refreshing to hear, and it's worked.
What's your favorite metric? The one that maybe everybody doesn't have access to, but you look at it most often when you're looking at how the product is doing, how the product is changing?
Daily usage, and that usage is repeat. Like, people are coming, and what I do every morning when I wake up is I look out the window, look at the weather. I know exactly what I'm going to need for the day in terms of my outfit, umbrella, whatever it is. I know what it's going to be like. And the other thing I do is I open up Twitter search, and when you don't have a search query plugged in, it goes to trends. So I see trends right away, and trends show exactly what's happening right now in the world. And why that's interesting, and why I bring up the weather, is it tells me what I'm going to be talking about when I get into work. Beyonce just released an album. I'm going to be talking a lot about Beyonce. All my coworkers are going to be talking about Beyonce. They're going to be thinking about Beyonce. They're going to be tweeting about Beyonce. And my family and my friends, they're going to know that Beyonce happened. And now I know too, because I saw it on Twitter, and it makes me smarter. So I want to enable everyone in the world and anyone in the world to be able to have that sort of ability to wake up and this is what's happening. And this is the fastest way to see it. And not only that, I can actually get in the conversation about it right there. I can actually start talking to people. I can even talk to Beyonce.
So he's demanding optimism, Carl. If you're not optimistic, you're not staying around. He talked about underdog stories. I asked him his favorite Disney movie. He said Ratatouille. He's following the Golden State Warriors. It's really interesting. And daily usage. He's not looking at logged out users, Carl. He's looking at daily usage. People coming back.
And that comes on a day where Snapchat officially has overtaken Twitter on daily usage. I mean, we'll look back in a few months maybe and ask whether this was a turning point. Who knows?
I think that's right, Carl. And the question is, can he get this team playing together to rally from behind? He seems to be steeping himself in that narrative. Kayla, it sure is interesting. He has a whole different level of animation when he's talking about product and how he's trying to get that going in the right direction.
Well, because he is the product guy. He created Twitter to an extent. He created Square. And that was one of the reasons why the board wanted him to come back. But I do think that daily usage number is so interesting because, as Carl mentioned, Snapchat now, also according to my sources, has 150 million daily active users. And when I tweeted that, people were saying, they're totally different beasts. Why are we connecting Snapchat to Twitter? Why are we comparing Twitter to Facebook? But it is just proof positive that if you build a product that is sticky enough that people like using it, doesn't matter if you're 4 years old or 10 years old in Twitter's case, people are going to flock to it.
Yeah, I'll tell you why. It's because they all live on this thing here on your phone, and there's only so many hours in a day, and people are spending time on Facebook, they're spending time on Snapchat. Twitter wants and needs more of that time.
Yeah, a big part of the discussion yesterday on stage was the priority Twitter has placed on safety and trust as they have killed a bunch of ISIS-related accounts and try to make it a safer, less vicious platform on which to play. Great stuff. Really interesting. John Ford with Jack Dorsey. We do want to get back to HQ and Sue Herrera with some breaking news. Sue?